Welcome to another episode of Into the Pot, the weekly show where I review different pieces of media, what they meant to me, and how they've changed and added flavor to the stew of my life. Today we're talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. As always, I'll start off with a spoiler free look at what I thought was good, then what was bad, and then finish off with spoilers to discuss the themes and details that resonated with me. So, with that in mind, let's start off with the good. If you were not aware, I'm a pretty big Mario fan. So when they announced the second movie to be Super Mario Galaxy, I was honestly very excited for this movie. I love the entire Mario Galaxy franchise now, especially revisiting it and doing a whole video essay series on it. But I will have to say, this movie surprised me in a lot of different ways. Let's talk about the good. And the good is this movie is visually stunning. It is amazing. The sound design, the character design, the animation, the fight scenes, the choreography. I tell you, Illumination as an animation studio is at the top of their game with this movie, which is crazy because I look at Sony Pictures Animation, Pixar, Illumination, like all these sort of big animation studios. This movie is one of the most beautifully animated movies that I've seen in a long time. And it genuinely rivals the Spider-Verse movies in terms of its animation, whereas the Spider-Verse movies are great pieces of animation. They changed the industry forever. Super Mario Galaxy movie can definitely see those effects. And it's a step up from the original movie and just overall better in every sense of the way with the animation. I tell you, my God, those fight scenes were so fluid. The little Easter eggs, the little animation switches where it showed the puppets or the anime style scenes. It was gorgeous. It was a feast for your eyes. It was delectable. It was tasty. It was amazing to see. And the sound design that went into it, the little notes that you would hear from the previous Mario music, it just like it was a beautiful work of art. And character design, everything about it was like top notch. I will say, even though like with the problems of like the voice actors and them being too recognizable and stuff, it's like they still did a decent job and the movie just was so beautiful. I tell you, like, god dang, what an experience to see that movie. And I would definitely watch it again to just see all those visuals again because it is such a gorgeous movie. But at that mark, that is the extent of how much I loved it. It was a movie that genuinely felt like such a feast for the eyes, but not for the brain. And that is where I move on. Now that the good's out of the way, let's move on to that bad. And that is pretty much it. I will say this movie narratively falls flat so much. And I will argue this 10,000 times over, but people say, like, oh, it's a kids' movie. Like, you don't have such high expectations with a kids' movie. It's like, do you not understand the type of quality kids movie we've had in the past? I mean, just even look at the first Super Mario Brothers movie. The narrative in that movie is so much stronger than the narrative of this one. The idea that Mario is this regular guy, he's an actual plumber, he's feeling down on his luck, he feels kind of like a loser, and then comes to the Mushroom Kingdom and, becomes a hero. His parents at the end, like, that's my son, like, they're proud of him. Like, just that small freaking detail of the old movie is so much better than what we got in this one. And this one is kind of crap. We didn't get any narrative arcs that really meant anything. The only ones that I would say was like Bowser and Bowser Jr., which they did a decent job. I actually really appreciated their relationship. But at the end of the day, it's like everything felt so shallow. There was a surprising lack of dialogue. There was not enough moments where the characters talked to each other. And as soon as the action happened, the only dialogue were just quips. It was just like them saying Yahoo or Wahoo or like whatever it is, right? And then by the end of the movie, it ends so abruptly that I was like, "Oh my god, that's it? Like what the frick was that?" That was like a complete waste of some character arcs you're building cuz honestly, the movie for me would have been a 10 out of 10 if they just freaking put some character development or growth or interactions. Like there's so many things about this movie that just fall completely flat and it just want to just watch the beautiful visuals. And now I understand why critics are saying like this is a, made for YouTube shorts and all that stuff, and they have a very negative opinion. I will be honest, I totally understand where that sentiment is coming from. It feels like this movie just wasn't up to par narratively. It felt like they just wanted to do dumb stuff. And even though it's a kids movie, I will always say kids deserve better. How are we going to teach the future children and the future generations to create amazing stories when all they care about is just the visuals? That's the biggest thing. And I totally understand where all the critics are coming from because, hey, narratively, it's not that great. But now let's actually talk about the narrative decisions and plot holes, where now we talk about the themes and the spoilers, where now we talk about the themes and the details that resonated with me with the spoilers. So, again, you've been warned. But my God, there are so many just strings that will pull you along and then they just drop. The first of which is the idea that Mario has a crush on Peach. Totally normal, totally understandable. He wants to ask her out. This man does not ask her out by the end of the movie. What are we doing now? Like, can you not like he just talks like, "Oh, I would like to ask her out," and then the movie just ends and it's like you didn't even try. Like there wasn't even a moment that he actually tried. Like he tried, he failed, but like the resolution act at the end where they're building the castle and stuff, such a wasted opportunity. This movie needed like 15 to 30 more minutes just to explain, like to have the characters talk to each other. And then also the big reveal that Rosalina is Peach's sister is, honestly, it's like, whatever, like we'll see what they do with it. But the idea like Peach and Rosalina, they're like, oh my God, their sisters reunited. And she turns to Luigi and Mario and they're like, Mario, meet my sister. It's Rosalina. And that's like kind of everything that they say to each other. Luigi goes, oh, I love a family reunion. And then that's freaking it. What are we talking about? They didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't even say like, oh my God, like explain to us what's going on. And I should have known this when they did it with Yoshi at the beginning, which is a very funny, and I love this sequence of just them finding Yoshi. Now, Yoshi, like, what happened? Like, who are you? And then shows this whole montage of Yoshi escaping to the real world, which is like amazing. Mario goes, I guess we'll never know. And he's like, I don't mind that much. It's Yoshi. Who cares exactly, right? But that's kind of the sentiment that they just continue on with the movie. They're like, I guess, like, who cares? We'll never know. Yoshi will join us. The babies happen. The Star Fox comes in, and there's like, oh, are they gonna fight? No, then there's no rivalry or whatever. It's just like right there. And like Toad is like Mario's best friend. And then when Yoshi comes in the picture, Toad's like, oh, I thought I was your best friend. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually talk about anything. And then Star Fox comes in. He's like, oh my God, Star Fox is so cool. Maybe Toad will be Star Fox's friend over Mario's. But there's no conflict. There's no developments. There's no nothing, right? And I am so shocked when the movie ended. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, they didn't even do anything. Like, at the very least, Mario could have been like, so Peach, like, I like you or something. Like give me something. And then, or like, just do something. That's my biggest problem. And if you watched my critique of Hoppers last week, Hoppers was a movie that had a lot of potential and it didn't do it well. So there's a lot of problems that I had with that story. But the problem with Super Mario Galaxy is I can't even critique the story because there was virtually none. There was no character arcs, there was no growth, there was no nothing. And it just made me feel like, where are we going with this? And if it felt like this, like I'm worried about the future movies, but I also recognize that it feels like in a completely filler episode. This movie didn't feel like as expansive as Galaxy should be, or didn't fill you with emotion in that same way. It's a gorgeous masterpiece of a movie, but it just feels empty. And that's a huge shame because the first one wasn't empty. And I know they're going to make a third one, but the amount of time it takes for them to make these movies does not justify the little feeling it leaves you with. The first one was like, this is great. And it kept me going kind of with the years. It's like, yeah, we got a good Super Mario Brothers movie. And then now it's just like, I'm expected to wait maybe like 3 years, 4 years for the next one. And it just feels like there's nothing to even go off of. There's nothing growing with the characters. It just felt like a laundry list of items that they checked off, did a bunch of references and everything else like that, and then they wrapped it up, and that was the movie. And I don't know where these characters are going. There's no growth to it. And again, and if you say it's a freaking kids movie, I will swear to God, I'll flip this table and I'll tell you that kids deserve better than what they get. I swear to God, there are so many movies that are amazing for children, but they challenge them, they engage them, they learn from them. And this one does not engage them enough. I will argue that there are some moments like the Bowser and Bowser Jr. scenes, which I feel like engage you slightly, but there's nothing that really leaves an impact with this movie. And I will tell you, I agree, this could just be watched on like YouTube Shorts. It doesn't necessarily need a cohesive story because there is no cohesive story. And that's like my biggest gripe with it. But honestly, it would have been a 10 out of 10 movie. I was like going into it, I was so excited, so hyped. It was amazing. I had such a good time. And I would have been like 10 out of 10 all the way through, but it left me with nothing. It just left me with gorgeous visuals, amazing fight scenes, cool power ups and references. And at the end of the day, it was like, okay, but narratively, what are we talking about? Like, I need something to go off of, right? I need something to engage me a little bit deeper, because again, life is something that has so much meaning to it. It's not just a snapshots of moments. It's like, it's the memories, the nostalgia, the feelings, everything that the movie conveyed visually and auditorily, like everything you felt as a Mario fan. That is what they need, and they need to capitalize off of it and just like put more to it, not just touch on your feelings and that's it. So it messed with my nostalgia, but it didn't grow beyond that, and that's a huge shame. Because if you look at the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, they pull the nostalgia and they make a cohesive story, and it's really great. But again, Super Mario Galaxy movie, a little bit disappointing. I would, so like with that all in mind, like I would give it a 7 out of 10. I tell you, it would have been 10 out of 10 had they actually had a narrative to it, but they didn't. And because of that, 7 out of 10. So there you have it. I gave you my thoughts and opinions about what the Super Mario Galaxy movie meant to me. And now I want to hear what you all think about it down in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with my opinions and the general consensus about it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more. As always, check the links in the description for my main video essay channel and my Patreon to support the channel and recommend media for me to review next. Thank you all to my current Patreon members who keep this channel afloat. I am so grateful that you are here with me. But with that all in mind, I will see you all in the next video.